The two sites were dealt with entirely differently. The one on Broad Street ultimately was excavated to the bedrock, and today it's got some beautiful new apartment building sitting right on top of it. Now the one on Bramlett Street, on the other hand, it has been neglected.
Since I've been here, I've had an unusual number of deaths. The prevalence of cancers or other chronic issues caused me to wonder what the source of that was and why such a concentration in this particular area.
After the facility closed down, without a doubt, there were lots of folks, especially kids, who came into direct contact with this material. The main discharge source for the contamination is this ditch that emptied into the Reedy River. The older folks remembered playing in this ditch, which they took to be a natural water body, and would come out and would be, up to their waist in this black, slick black sludge.
It kind of discolored your feet. They had a film on it when you came out. We didn't know what was going on. There was an area that you couldn't get in because they said it was sinking ground. You would go down and it would come up to your knees. I lived here for 21 years, and we played all over this area, in the woods, in the water, in the tar.
Growing up in this neighborhood, we were not aware that this was hazardous to our health. And some people were shocked and surprised that we had grown up with this environmental issue. They were challenges for us, and they still are, because we don't have the means to fight the large corporations that are doing these things to our environment.
It reflects the level of disregard from the greater community that was shown for Southern Side. And Duke has done some sediment testing in the river at the end of the ditch and has found contaminated sediment. The contamination going into the river means that the same carcinogens that are in Southern Side are going into the river, going over the waterfall in Falls Park, going through downtown, heading down to Lake Conestee, down to Cedar Shoals, where people are recreating in the water. So the environmental impact expands broadly, and it impacts not only humans but wildlife downstream with the contamination.
Living in the richest country in the world, you would think that citizens are protected from those types of hazards and dangers in their community, regardless of what side of town you live on.
You've got an example of what we call an environmental justice problem. We have one site on an affluent, rich side of town. It gets thoroughly treated and dealt with appropriately. Then you have this site where a quarter century goes by since the problem was recognized, and still effective action has not been taken to fix it.
I do not want any child growing up with the environmental issues that we grew up with. So we're going to do something to make sure that other children don't grow up with that same issue. The mess that Duke Power has left in our community since I was a child. And I am adamant about their cleaning it up. I want to see this a healthier community.